Hi guys, welcome to Chris Ryan Golf. You join me at the Belfry again today. We are on the Brabazon course, and in this video we're going to show you how you can make better golf swings by using the sun and your shadow. Right, so as you can imagine, you're going to need a pretty sunny day, and you're going to need to set up on a grass area somewhere like this with the sun directly behind you so that your shadow is falling on the ground in front of you, like you can see I'm doing here. That's the best way to do it. So in this country, England, there's only a selected few days that we can do this, but today is a nice day. We're out on the golf course, and this is a perfect opportunity to use the sun and the shadow to help you make some better golf swings. So we're not going to be worrying too much about the golf club today in this video. We're going to be looking a little bit more at how the body works and giving us some reference points that we can use to sort of understand what we're doing and hopefully make a few changes. So this is what we're going to get you to do. We're going to get you to take your normal starting position to a golf ball. And then what we're going to do is you're going to get two golf balls, and you're going to place one right where your head would be. So that's going to be right in the middle of my head. So as I set myself up, you can see that golf ball is right in the middle of my shadow. And then the other golf ball is going to go about on this front hip, so my left hip there. So I can find out where that is and pop a golf ball just there. So as I take my starting positions there, two reference points. I've got a golf ball in the middle of my head, and I've got a golf ball on my lead hip. Now, as we make golf swings, we can start to look at how the shadow's moving relative to those two markers. These are the two things I want you to look at in the backswing. Have we got any lateral movement off the ball or towards the target in the backswing? So if you watch my head in that shadow, what we do not want is any lateral movement to the right in the backswing. Equally, we don't really want any movement towards the target in the backswing. We want to make a backswing where that head stays nice and centered so that the golf ball remains in that shadow. Okay, so hopefully you can see that there. Making a backswing, and the golf ball is staying nicely into my shadow. So that's the upper body, making sure that doesn't move off the golf ball. If it does move off the golf ball, this is going to compromise your ability to deliver the club consistently to the golf ball. You're probably going to find that you struggle with contact, and you struggle with the sort of consistency of the ball flight, if you like. Next one, lead hip. Okay, what we don't want in this occasion is that lead hip to move off and away from that golf ball. So you can see here that I've managed to keep my head on that golf ball, but my lead hip has moved significantly away from the other reference point. That's a lateral movement with the pelvis away from the target, and very similar to what we said with the head position, this is going to give you less consistent ball strikes, it's going to give you less consistent ball flights, and generally poorer golf shots. So what we're looking for is to keep that lead hip on that golf ball, keep the head in that shadow. Sorry, keep the head on that golf ball. So you can see here as I'm making backswings, I'm making my backswing, making a full turn, but I'm ensuring that I'm keeping the relationship that I had at the start. When you do this, ensure that you're making a full turn. What I tend to see golfers do when they do this is to try and keep the head a bit still and keep the hips a little bit still. They tend to just kind of use the arms this way, believing that that's the best way to keep those sort of reference points the same. We still want to make a good full turn, where my hips are turning probably about 45 degrees, my shoulders are turning about 90 degrees, so I'm making a big full turn, but I'm just keeping nice and centered over the golf ball. A couple of backswing drills there for you. You can also use it for downswing. So in the downswing, what are we after? Well, we would like in the downswing for the hips and the pelvis to move a little bit towards the target, but ensure that the head is staying again nicely over the golf ball. So if you just keep your eye on those golf balls again, I'm going to make a backswing where I stay nice and centered, but as I start down, you'll notice that my head is still over that golf ball, but my lead hip has now moved significantly more towards the target. So it's gone left of that golf ball on the ground. So you can just make a few rehearsals, backswing, start the downswing this way, okay? Really good visual for feeling how that downswing starts. Now, as I return the club to contact point, obviously I haven't got a golf ball here, you can see that my lead hip is still forward of that golf ball. I haven't moved it forwards and then backed it up through impact. That's a really, really common problem we see. Lots of golfers will achieve this position, but then they will back it up through impact. So this is a fantastic drill to get you feeling the little bump towards the target, but then you rotate and stay forward. So when I get to this contact point, head is nicely centered, lead hip is a little bit more forward. That allows me to get the handle forwards, a little bit more weight through the lead side. We can then go through to a finish, and when I finish, my head will be now forward of the golf ball, and my lead hip is forward of the golf ball. So as you can see, some really, really useful things that you can look at. And the reason I like this drill is because it allows you to look at those things whilst keeping the head looking at roughly where the golf ball would be. If we start to use reflections or mirrors, it's useful, but often we're looking up more or we're looking to the right more, and it doesn't quite give us the same feels that it would in a golf swing. It's very different to make golf swings with the head in this position to in this position. If the head is moved, it's kind of going to make things easier or more difficult as we go through the swing. So this is a really, really good drill. If you're out on the golf course, the group in front is a little bit slow, or you're waiting, or that kind of thing, you can just do this. You can use a couple of tee pegs, use a couple of golf balls, but just really start to look at how your body's functioning through the golf swing, and you can start to assess, you know, whether you need to make any improvements. When I do this first sort of drill in the backswing, my tendency is to make a little bit of a move off the golf ball this way. You can see my head's moved off that shadow. My lead hip also tends to move a little bit in off there. So when I do this drill, that backswing to me does feel a little different. Okay, so really I do a lot of this trying to give myself good reference points and trying to create the right feels that I can then take to the drive range. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not going to hit a ball because the position I've had to put the camera in with the sun, there's a green over there, and I don't really want to hit a 5-iron over that green. There's a few people over there, so I'm not going to hit one, but hopefully you can see there how that drill will be useful. You can do it on the course, you can do it in the drive range, you can do it in your back garden, anywhere. It's really, really good. It's going to give you some good insights as to what you're doing, and I say next time you go and practice, you can maybe do a little bit of work on that. And if you can get that body to function better, you're definitely going to find your strike is better, your shots are better, and hopefully you'll play some better golf. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Click the like button if you liked it. If you've got any comments, you can post those in the boxes down below. I'll do my best to respond to as many as I can. And if you haven't done already, then please also click the subscribe button, which is kind of down there somewhere. Subscription is free. The videos are absolutely free. There's no cost involved whatsoever, so it's well worth doing. You'll just get a notification every time I upload a video, so you won't miss any, and hopefully you'll play some better golf when you get out on the golf course. So as I say, thanks again for watching, and we will see you again next time.